each panelist to speak for around 10 minutes for the first prompt, and then just see where that goes, and we'll try to save some time at the end for audience questions and answers. Without further ado, I'll introduce Sri Devi. Sri Devi Brahmi is a recently retired faculty member in Hinduism and Yoga Studies at Naropa University. She offers trainings in yogic meditation, sacred Sanskrit, Vedanta. Next, I have Jason Apt, am I pronouncing that correctly? Who was a last-minute addition to our panel, so thank you very much. Jason's a core faculty member at Naropa in the BA in Contemplative Psych program. Next is Venerable Thich Tam Tien, or TT, who's a classmate of mine. TT has been an ordained practitioner of Mahayana Buddhism for 10 years. His tradition is Pure Land Buddhism. Currently, TT is in his second year of the MA Religious Studies at Naropa. He is facilitated with Hong Phap Foundation, which belongs to Hong Phap Monastery in Ho Chi Minh City in Vietnam, as an advisor. And his slogan is "Pure yourself, pure the land." And finally, we have Ian Sanderson.
An essential part of life. And so may the journey of life continue in the mother wine as I let go and offer my body, because it is still useful, back in.
Not particularly observant. I grew up traditional conservative, but not observant in certain ways. So I was, all of a sudden, all the structure of the rituals just were right there for me, and they acted like such a comfort, basically like an emotional support, because I had a way that I knew that literally after my mom, they were about to take my mom's body away. Actually, this like a young woman in her early 20s came with a stretcher, and the stretcher was such high tech that she was literally about to take my mom all by herself down, and was going to then move her to the mortuary.
I just realized that I'm the only student on the panel, so go easy on me. So before I share, could I ask you one question? Have you ever thought about death? By raising your hand? Oh, thank you. Quiet. My friend, he also Vietnamese American monk, and I think he was in the panel last year, right? Mm-hmm. So I often I make a joke with him, because his paper and his assignments are always about death and dying. Mm-hmm. And then I ask, why are you so pessimistic that everything you learn and then you talk about death all the time? And now I have to talk about death.
That's good all the time.
When we were born, we make a contract with life. Everybody make once. The contract we can never cancel. That is, we have to die. Everybody, that's really obvious. And we often forget it. So I remember when I was on an airplane, and then there was turbulence, and I thought, wow, what if that happened? You know what I mean by that, right? I have not prepared. So what if that happened? And I think there's moments in our life that we faced that kind of thought, and we couldn't do anything to help. We just become like helpless. And in Buddhism, don't worry about that, you know. Especially in my tradition, we don't worry about that, because we eventually go to Pure Land. I'm just joking. there's a misunderstanding in my tradition, especially in Vietnam, that whenever they see a monk and a group of people follow that monk, there must be somebody die around there because monks are there. So there was one time I and my master traveled to another province and we didn't know the road. So we asked people, we stopped the car and then asked, when they saw us, they're like, over there, there's a house, someone died there. Just go there. And I'm like, what are you talking about? So that's really, unfortunate thing we have. We understand that we can never live forever, right? So I would not call death because the word is very scary. It scares me. I would call it transformation. Often we think this body is our body, the thing we have, people we love, that's define who we are. And then when we die, we left everything behind. And then some people still believe that there will be nothing after that. But I don't think so. Even I don't learn Buddhism, I understand that the cloud never dies. When there's cloud, the cloud transforms to rain, and rain transforms to the soil, to the cup of tea that we drink, to the water. And we transform ourselves after that moment happens. Thinking about that is not pessimistic. Thinking about that helps us to live our life more meaningful. And in my tradition, people often think that if you or if we recite the Buddha names enough, like every day, when you die, the Buddha, the Amitabha Buddha, will come and pick you up to the Pure Land in the Western world. Western is not here. Western somewhere in the West of our universe. And I often say, I don't believe that, and I don't care where I'm going to be born because I don't know, we don't know how to live our life here. Why do we care about after this life, right? So I have given many Dharma talks, and my advice to them is that, do not think about after death. Try to live your life here meaningfully, and the rest, the Buddha will take care of that. And last thing is, when we were born, we cry, people laugh. But when we die, we laugh, people cry. Thank you. So in Buddhism, we believe that there is no self, right? Impermanence. We don't have a self, but it's kind of big deal when somebody dies. So they honor the ceremony, the funeral, with everything. Like there was a woman, she never put on makeup. But when she died, her family put on makeup for her, and she was so beautiful. And I came and she like, oh, you make her so beautiful, so she will not leave the body. Be careful with that. So to go to the funeral, we chant the Buddha's name. So could you please chant with me just 3 times to honor whoever we love and to honor ourselves. It is Namo Amitabha Buddha. Namo Amitabha Buddha. Namo Amitabha Buddha. Namo Amitabha Buddha. So we do that in the funeral, and since all of you chant, so you will be safe. Don't worry about that. Thank you.
Very good.